Hello everyone. So let's look at the video solution for today's case study. It was to make a content calendar for a B2C handicrafts brand, and that being Andaman Market.com. This is how the website looks, as you can expect with respect to handicrafts coming out of an island. You have bamboo crafts, seashells, things around coconut shells. That's so these are the kind of things that this website. It's an e-commerce website that this website deals with, and as you can imagine, because it's dealing with handicrafts, there will be a lot of imagery on the social handles. So we are not going to get into what kind of imagery, but today it's more about the planning and what is the kind of content calendar that that can be planned for a client, for a company like this. So the first step is really to understand what are the content buckets, right? Now what I have done is to list down a few of the content buckets, right? And this is, I mean, there are many. If you just search for content calendar templates, you'll find many. But I'm just jotting down a few ideas here, right? So if this is the week, right, Monday to Friday, and suppose you're doing it only on the weekdays, right? So that's only on the weekdays, and these are the content buckets, right? So most clients would expect that you talk about the product at least thrice in a week. So I've kept Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday for that. So talk about the product would mean what if you go out to the Andaman their Twitter channel, they're already doing that, right? So this is one of their products, right? So they're, in fact, they're only doing that, and that's a problem, right? They're only talking about their products, which is not a good thing to do at all on social media. And whenever they are putting out things, they are using the hashtags, so that's great, right? So the first thing is product showcase. Next is we have so what we have done is just looked at other like a typical handicraft brand, right? What are the things that they would do on Instagram or Facebook or Twitter? Like these are the platforms that you would expect for a brand like this, right? So one is, yes, there would be product showcases, but with a model, right? So you can have that. Some of the product showcases can have model based, right? So that's what I'm so that's one idea. Then just opened up some of the tabs here. So then this is actual artisans working on the products. That's always a good thing because it gives a very real feel to the whole presence. So that's why I've kept artisan videos or showcase. Then this is an example of a testimonial. That's also good, a good content bucket. I've kept that on Friday. Then so if there is a event, if there's a festival happening, that of course has to be like that's a content bucket which is always there, right? So you have to be in touch with what's happening, of course, around you. Right, so these are the content buckets I've kept from the founder in case the main person wants to put out a message or do a quick video. You can also have quotes with respect to handicrafts and these kind of things. Then you can also, because this is specifically with respect to Andaman, then you can have some posts around the Andaman history, right? See, one issue right now with what they're doing is that they're talking only about the product, right? So we have to talk about the people behind the product, the region from where it comes, because people are searching for that. People get attracted to that as opposed to just it being like a catalog, right? So that's one of the main comments that you should have when you study what they're doing on Twitter. We didn't find them on Instagram, which is surprising. We should be on Instagram also, for a category like this. So yeah, so these are the content buckets, and then yes, then you have to start putting in researching on what competition is doing, and then getting ideas, and then also looking at your own products and putting out the post text, the image, the URL, if at all there is a URL. So on Instagram you can't have a URL, but on Twitter, yes, you can have a URL. But this is really step one. Okay. Step two is what buckets need to be there on weekly, fortnightly, and monthly basis. Now this is for the week. Now some content buckets like going live I mentioned, right? So going live can be something which you can do so once every 15 days, right? Or a compilation video, that's something which you can do once every 15 days. Or on a monthly basis, you can have a newsletter happening. So this is these will not come in the weekly calendar. This is every 15 days you'll have to put it out, and this is every month, say. Okay, that's what you mean by that's the step two, which is what buckets on weekly, fortnightly, and monthly basis. Step three is uh, what are the platforms, right? So Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for this kind of a category. But do we have to put out everything on all the platforms, right? So, and for example, you may not choose to put out quotes on Twitter, for example, right? Just on Facebook and Instagram. You may not choose to put out Andaman history on Twitter. You can just put it on Facebook and Instagram. Also, when you're putting out the dimensions, some Instagram has a different dimension as compared to Twitter. If for a slideshow, for example. So all these things will need to be uh, pre-planned and understood, and then you can take a call whether you want to put out uh, the same post on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Sometimes the posts can be very long ones. For example, artisan videos, you may go into detail about talking about the artisans and their life. Uh, and so that has to be edited if it's on Twitter because of the character limit. So all these things that's important. Then keeping track of the brand mentions, right? So this is you'll have to also go and search if people are searching for. Now this is not a very well known brand, but there would be, if your brand is talked about, you have to search how many people are talking about that and then respond to that. So that's also a part of your content calendar. That's what you mean by brand mentions. I mean, there are tools which will help you to do this in a more organized and a more detailed manner, but that's just another video, and so we'll not get into the details of that. Keeping track of trending content, which means understanding what is trending around handicrafts. Okay, so if there is something which people are talking about, there is an exhibition happening, if something is being shared a lot, right? So all this is also important. That will also be a part of your trending content. So brand mention and trending content, these are things which you do on a regular basis and just add to your content calendar. That's why this is like a evolving sheet, right? And the last addition in the content calendar would be the evergreen content, which means that if you've done a blog post on, say, the top 10 handicrafts coming out of Andaman, right? So that's a blog post which you can put out, say, every couple of months. Right? So that's called evergreen content. So you have to make you can have a separate tab here, right? You can just call it evergreen content, and you can put out those URLs here, and you can periodically put that in your calendar. Now this is for 1 week. Of course, it will continue. and you can keep the calendar ready, say for 2 weeks. Okay, and evergreen content, you can take out stuff from here and put it in your content calendar. Right. So yeah, that's how you go about doing content calendar plan to support your social media activity. Thank you.